Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about JK Rowling. We're going to talk about the Harry Potter reboot and another controversy around an actor. And no, it's not the guy playing Snape. This is John Lithgow, who's been cast as Dumbledore. And people are like, wait, what? He said he absolutely didn't expect any backlash after joining the cast of Harry Potter because he's like, why is this even an issue? Why is this a factor?
Because, you know, he obviously has been living under a rock, but yeah, it really isn't an issue except that people are making it a big one. And I mean, I get the Snape casting because if there was one character you don't change, it was him. But the rest of it's just, you know, activists being activists.
Yeah, and again, he is an older gentleman. I'm sure he's not terminally online, but I mean, we've had articles for the last 2 or 3 years now, just going and trying to keep track of everybody that supports JK Rowling. They're the bad ones. Rafe Fiennes is a bad one. See, according to the little frowny face there, and because Daniel Radcliffe, Harry Potter himself, threw her under the bus. He's a good guy with a little angel.
Right. According to this group.
According to this group. And yeah, so he stepped in it. But, you know, is it going to matter? I don't think normies care. If that was the case, why don't we have weirdo activists like overturning the Hershey's chocolate display or the goldfish cracker displays in the grocery stores, right? Like, how dare you give money to J.K. Rowling?
Oh, I'm sure they're writing them. They're probably doing a writing campaign and calling and harassing them. It's just a handful of people that are very vocal about it. You're allowed to have your opinion on it. Yeah, that's fine. I just think that it's absolutely ridiculous that we've gotten to this point where, you know, they're going to harass John Lithgow because how you don't want to be part of this brand.
Yeah, I am very concerned. I got to tell you, I am very concerned about the kids.
Yeah, they're not those. Even if they know who they aren't announcing it. Like, they're going to probably keep that under wraps for a while so those kids don't be harassed. They might have trouble finding kids that would fit the bill because their parents are worried about.
I'm going to be honest. If our kids were actors and knowing the way things are going with this, I would think twice about letting them, like, yeah, I don't know if I want my kid to be Harry Potter because I know they're going to come after him. Doesn't matter if he's a kid or not.
Doesn't matter if they've, you know,
doesn't matter if he's got a diversity shield either, right? Like, you could be like, oh, well, he's not white. Well, it doesn't matter. You're associated with this show. So,
but if you do hire somebody who shouldn't be as an actor like Snape, who shouldn't be playing the part because he's not white, that's his shield. And
well, kind of,
you're a bigot no matter what.
I've noticed that the mainstream media, like a lot of these people that are targeting the act, they're giving him a pass. Kind of, they're sort of like,
he's got the black shield. They can't say anything, or they're bigots themselves. Yeah,
they're kind of like, well, you know, it's good for him, but you know, it's still Harry Potter. But you know, the bigots are mad. It's like, would you pick a freaking lane? You know, the bigots are mad.
Well, that's why I joked.
Or you're a bigot if you join this show.
That's why I joked the other day, and oh my God, the backlash, because I said about Pedro Pascal and what he said about, you know, the JK Rowling, and I'm like, well, which one is it? You know, it's okay that as long as he's attacking biological women and conservatives. I mean, the rules keep changing, and I was just like, I'm just trying to clarify the rules here because Gina Carano got fired for saying less. But he's allowed to say what he wants. And I'm just like, what are the guidelines? Because they're so fluid, much like some of these people's genders.
Yeah. Let's talk about this. We're going to do it pretty far. Before you do it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You'll get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo.
Yeah, so this just shows kind of a difference in generations too, because John Lithgow, as far as I know, is a fairly progressive guy. Remember, in The World According to Garp, which is an incredibly depressing movie. A lot of people like it, but it's incredibly depressing. He actually played a trans person in that, and so a lot of people thought, I think, because of that he would be like very anti-JK Rowling. He's just like, no.
Well, now he wouldn't be allowed to play that character.
No, he would not. He would not, because that was a whole issue. Like,
you have to stay in your lane.
You have to stay in your lane. But yeah, he's from a different generation before we all went crazy. So he probably doesn't understand it because it doesn't make a lot of it doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, people have had different opinions for years. I think people have had differing opinions for years. It just wasn't on full on display until social media. That's what I think is actually
social media ruined everything.
Variety, John Lithgow says he absolutely didn't expect any J.K. Rowling backlash after joining Harry Potter. Why is this a factor?
Oh, well, we fully expected it.
In a sit down with the Times of London, Lithgow said he has received some backlash for joining Harry Potter on HBO because of Rowling's controversial comments about the transgender community. The Conclave star said it was something he absolutely did not expect and was thinking more about his age when he accepted the role. He said it was a big decision because it'll probably be the last major role I'll play.
Well, how dare he think about himself and not all the activists and their, what they're pushing that week?
Why aren't you?
How dare he?
You should be thinking about all the 22-year-old activists, John Lithgow.
Your platform should be dedicated to those people.
He said it's an 8-year commitment, so I was just thinking about mortality. This is kind of depressing. It's an 8-year commitment, so I was thinking about mortality and that this is a very good winding down role. I hope he makes it. I'm going to be honest. I hope he makes it through the end because they're saying it's going to actually be 10 years probably till this is done. Lithgow added that a very good friend who is the mother of a trans child sent him an open letter entitled An Open Letter to John Lithgow. Please walk away from Harry Potter after he picked up the role. That was a canary in the coal mine, he said. I didn't even know about that. Lithgow went on to ponder why Rowling's past comments should affect the project. I thought, why is this a factor at all? I wonder how JK Rowling has absorbed it. I suppose at a certain point I'll meet her, and I'm curious to talk to her.
How dare you? You should just shun her and never speak to her again because the media and stuff has said so.
When asked if the backlash has made him even reconsider the role, he said, oh, heavens no. Heavens no. And then, of course, Variety has to tell you what the backstory is. Back in 2020, Rowling posted a series of social media posts claiming that the existence of transgender people erased the lived reality of women. That's actually not exactly what she said. Shortly after, Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, Rupert Grint issued statements opposing her opinion. Actually, Rupert Grint, if I remember correctly, he was kind of like on the fence about weirdly, almost all of Slytherin has come out in defense of her, and people are going to say,
right?
Because
it's they're evil. See.
Yeah, but I think even Robbie Coltrane came out in defense of her, and I think a lot of it is a generational thing. It seemed like the older actors were kind of like, yeah, she would, what's the big deal? And like all the 20-somethings are like,
the politically pickled were much more upset. Because even some of the other characters, like Luna and stuff, the girl who played Luna was like on her side too, and she just didn't understand what, and she said something like that. Why does that affect, Lithgow and company? Because basically at that point, then I guess no one's ever allowed to do anything Harry Potter ever.
No, that's what they want. They basically want Harry Potter to shrivel up and die.
That's not going to happen.
I mean, but what's so weird, like when we covered the the Gamer's the Gamer's a fantastic place to go to chronicle all of this in real time, because you could see the change. Like they all loved JK Rowling, they all loved Harry Potter until JK Rowling started making her statements, and then it was like, okay, now we got to cancel Hogwarts Legacy, and now we got to get the show canceled. They're going after the media, like they're trying to go after the game and the show. What the game, it blew up in their faces because it wound up being one of the best-selling games of the year. I think it was the best-selling game of the year, Hogwarts Legacy, after they made sure they got, people fired and whatever over it. But like they're going after that, but they're ignoring the fact that she makes money off the theme parks. She makes money off Hershey's chocolate. She makes money off of, butterbeer crackers and all this stuff they're selling at the store.
And things.
Toys, Legos. Why aren't they boycotting Lego? Why aren't they angry at Lego? Are they boycotting Universal Studios because every one of their parks has something Harry Potter in it?
See, what I think is interesting is that what they're trying to do with this show is what you'd think they would do would be, we're going to do it as close to the book as possible. We're going to do everything we can to make it what fans expect, because we gotta do really well because people are pushing back against us. And instead, I think their thought process is, because these people are pushing back against us, we got to win them over by giving them, representational casting and all this other crap. So they, which button do you push kind of situation. And I think it's just going to bite them in the ass on both sides.
Yes.
To be honest with you, I think the whole thing is going to implode and blow them because of their stupidity.
It's going to implode and blow them up.
Because of their stupidity.
First, they're going to, it's like a star going nova. First, they're going to collapse, and then they're going to explode.
No, first they expand, and then they suck themselves in.
And then they suck. Okay.
And then they turn into a black hole.
She's gone from suck to blow. Shortly after HBO's Harry Potter was unveiled, HBO chief Casey Bloys told the media that Rowling was very, very involved in the process of selecting the writer and director, and her anti-trans sentiments haven't affected the casting or hiring of writers or production staff. The series.
Right. That's what we have to look, guys. We have to make extra sure. We're going to take the one character that's very, very, very notably white and make sure we recast him as a black person to prove to you that, you know, it hasn't impacted any of those things.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, I think outside of the internet, this is a non-issue for most people, except for Pedro Pascal, except for Daniel Radcliffe. You know, they, you know,
well, Pedro Pascal and Daniel Radcliffe are terminally, you know, activist, you know, minded.
Yeah, so there we go. John Lithgow gonna be Dumbledore. He doesn't care. He doesn't give a shit.
Nope.
Doesn't give a.
And it doesn't matter. Is it gonna make you change your mind? No.
No, he's probably looking at how many zeros are at the end of his paycheck, and he's like, yeah, this is pretty good because he hasn't had. I mean, he's done movie roles and stuff, but like, yeah, it's really been kind of sporadic. I think. You know, I mean, he was doing what, Conclave, I think was one thing he was doing, but like. Yeah, I mean, this is I'm sure a big payday for him. And, you know, he'd kind of end on a high note financially anyway. You know, I don't know. Are we going to wrap it up?
Yes.
All right, let's wrap it up, guys. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.